All right, today we're going to be opening 2 boxes of Tokyo Revengers. Kind of weird considering I actually already have a full playset of it, as well as I've already made my standby deck as well as the dual laners deck already. And I did grab like the choice climaxes if I ever want to run those decks as well too. But I figured this is as good of a time as any if anyone were ever to want to get into Weiss for like a low price point. Because if you actually look at it, these things are dirt cheap. If you look at an actual case of Tokyo Revengers, they're around like $800. I mean, dirt cheap considering compared to other sets, right? And if you look at each individual booster box, they're like $40 each. Again, I kind of want to go back to the point of like you never really want to buy loose boxes unless you know where you're getting it from. In this case, when I got these loose boxes, I know it's from like a store that I trust that they're not going to map it out, especially considering the fact that no one's even buying these. So I'm not really too worried. As for what cards might we be looking for, right? I've already have a full playset of the Draken Way of the Delinquent TRVs, so I don't need the standby ones, which are kind of very, very hard to get if you think about it. And these cards are kind of hard to get in this set, not so much as it's hard or short pulled. But the fact that no one's opening these, I don't think many people even ordered them. So if you want to play these, they're cheap. But in regards to actually getting them, if no one's opening them, you're not able to really buy them. Which is why you kind of see like some of these high price cards no one's really buying, right? So people are putting up like the Emma, the Hinata. I don't think more than one of them have sold, to be honest, aside from like maybe 1 or 2 people buying it. The Mikey being the popular one, of course, which is why it's like up to like $600. So the cards that we do want the Mikey SSP if possible. Obviously, it's not happening. I'm going to show you the back of the box to show you why it's not happening. And in regards to like any of these SSPs are very, very, very hard to get. The only one that people really want is probably the Emma because she's the brainstormer, or the Mikey because he's popular. But as for like the rest of it, they're pretty much worthless. I don't really need any of them, but it'd be nice to just open them, I guess, just for the one time, right? In regards to why I feel like this is very, very hard to pull things like the Mikey SSP is because if you actually look at the box, right? So in the set, there's 7 SSPs and then there's 14 TRVs. The TRVs, most of them are pretty worthless unless you get like the Draken, mainly because it's popular, as well as it's one of the playable ones. And then you have the triple rares, which is mostly the climaxes, right? And then you have the SRs, which I don't think any of them were worth anything. So mainly you're looking at the SSPs and the TRV. So you're looking to probably get the Draken, right? In regards to the actual case rates, I'm actually not sure the exact case rates, but I know that it's 1 SSP per case. And TRVs, I'm going to assume that means it's like 3 to 4, right? And then if you think about it that way, 1 SSP per case. So that means that there's 7 of them. So if you want a Mikey, that's a 1 in 7 chance that you're gonna get it. So these things are very, very, very hard to get. And I'm not really sure if it's short printed or people are just holding on to it. But if you actually try to get the Mikey, it's actually very, very hard to even find anyone selling them. As opposed to like you see a lot of people selling the Takamichis, you see a lot of people selling the Baji and the Chifuyu, and then the Emma you see like here and there, right? I think the Baji and the Chifuyu aren't really like main parts of decks, and they're not really like that great of a card, so that's why they don't really go for that high. I think they go for like between 1 to 300 or something like that. I think there is a Mitsuya SSP too, but weird choice since I don't believe he's one of the more popular characters. Like Chifuyu and Baji, I could see. Mikey definitely. I'm kind of really weirded out as to why the Takamichi one is so low, considering he's part of the choice deck. But who knows, right? And then the one other thing I wanted to show as well too. I'm not sure if you guys ever ordered from a website called TCG Republic before, but I just kind of wanted to show you what it's kind of like. A lot of people ask like whether it's reliable or not. I actually order from them every once in a while because they do have some stuff that might be a little bit hard to find, and they do like it's kind of like a proxy service almost, so you're paying a premium. And then I feel like they do ship their cards pretty well. They always come in these like weird CD cases, which I guess like they come pretty secure, right? Which I really do like. As you see, it's all I order like the Pixar cards. As opposed to me going in on the set, I figured this is like the way cheaper method to do it. So I got the triple rare climax, first day scare team, and then also the triple rare climax of this one as well too. I'm waiting for one more. It's the one with Boo and Sullivan. But these were like my favorite cards out of the set. I don't even really like the SPs. I really honestly think that the triple rares look very, 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 very nice. In regards to like a lot of people also ask the question of how about card quality when it comes to ordering from TCG Republic? I would have to say in regards to if you're ordering like brand new cards from brand new sets, most of the time you're gonna get cards that are in very, 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 very good condition. But then if you're looking to get cards from very old sets, the one thing about TCG Republic is that they do not guarantee card quality. So if you're looking to get like very, very old cards, like let's just say like when I had like the Evangelion boxes, I didn't get it from them, but it's just an example, right? From really very, very old sets, you're just gonna assume that they're gonna be like banged up cards. I believe they just end up getting their stuff from like other stores as well. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, so I do have my KMC sleeves ready for if we pull any, I guess pretty much any foils, to be honest. I wouldn't mind. If you actually, as I go through the box, I'm kind of going to go over which cards are actually worth anything because of, I guess, like the new dual laner meta, where you're going to see cards like the Kids Meal Mikey, that's going to be worth quite a bit. I don't know why, like people bought them out. So, you know, it is nice to have. In regards to, I have my sleeves, and then I do already have a Mikey SSP, right? I'm kind of still debating if I want to put him in my deck. And it kind of, I'm on the fence, right? Because if you think about it, he's like, what? A 1 in 7 chance of getting him in a case? That's already like, what the fuck is it? Like, there's people are selling it for like between like $300 to like $500, which I think honestly is undervalued if you really think about it. I mean, of course, it's not like a waifu card, but if you think about it, 1 in 7 chance of getting it, and then no one's really opening these, so these are pretty hard to come by. It'd be nice to get another one of them, but or I really, really do want the Emma since I only run one of the brainstormers. And as I kind of go through the box, I'll kind of go over I guess I'll talk about the cards as I open it because I am playing the decks. I did play the dual laner, and I really, really do like playing a standby, which sucks, by the way. I don't know if I'm gonna make a separate video on that, but yeah, let's just get started and let's see if we get anything good. Also, since this is not really a live stream, I'm probably gonna cut the video so it's a little bit shorter because I don't think anyone really wants to watch someone opening one of these for like, I don't know, like how long do I normally do these opening videos for like fucking like 45 minutes of me just opening 2 boxes. So I'll try to cut it shorter. And then I think I just hit the mic. Sorry about that sound. Yeah, I'll try to make it a little bit shorter so it's not as long. So I'm probably gonna, I normally like to cut open the pack, so I'm gonna open all the packs. I'll still record it, but I'll probably just speed it up. So that way you don't have to watch me slowly cut them one by one. It was just kind of crazy if you think about it. When I do my case openings, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do anymore. They all go for like almost like 2, 3, 4 hours, including of course like I'm sorting through the cards while I'm doing it as well too, right? But they're pretty freaking long. Again, I kind of like the older box formats more. These are like the Japanese formats version. So we do have a Draken promo. One thing I do hate is I really wanted the foil version of these promos, but people are selling them for like pretty high prices. I believe you only get them at stores, right? So let's get all these packs out. Yeah, I'm not really expecting much out of this. In general, I have pretty bad luck when it comes to opening stuff, which is why I don't do it. But it'd be pretty fun, especially since I have the playsets, but I've never opened these before, so it'd be a pretty nice experience to get. As for the actual promo itself, I don't believe the Dragon promo really does anything that's good. It's like what level 1 on attack, choose a character, power based on revenge characters. Not really that great to be running in any kind of deck. The Takamichi, when this card is placed on the stage from your hand on level 0, you pay the cost. If you do, look look at up to 3 cards on top of it, choose one among them, put it in your hand, and then put the rest in the waiting room. So it's another hand filtering card, which you're dumping one card from your hand and paying one in order to do it. You probably won't use this because there is that Bloody Halloween card, which you're getting double filter as compared to one of them. So neither of these promos you'll probably end up running. So that's just something to think about. All right, so I'm not gonna make you guys watch me cut open these, so I'm gonna record this and I'm gonna speed it up so that way you don't have to watch me doing this for like, I don't know, like 30 minutes. Alright, so I actually started opening this before I even started recording. I realized my mic was muted. Get fucked. I'm retarded. I was just saying how it'd be nice to get SSP, another SSP, honestly. I wouldn't mind another Mikey or getting the ML or any SSP, to be honest. Like, I don't think I've ever pulled SSP from loose boxes or anything really good from the loose boxes. Outside Mushoku Tensei, I did get the Roxy, from what I remember. But I was mentioning how, like, before I realized my mic was muted, is that just don't, if you're new to the hobby, don't believe in bullshit like one box magic or one pack magic. You could buy like a bajillion of these and never get anything. So don't believe in that shit. Especially if people are posting like one box magic, one pack magic, or whatever it is, last pack magic, all this bullshit, like buying loose packs. I got SSP. How much is this worth? Oh, is this rare? And all that bullshit. Just realize a lot of people kind of just like only post their best pulls. You never know if someone went like really, really deep into the boxes before they only post that one pack that they got like something really good on just for like, just to farm like likes and shit like that. So don't believe in any of that shit. I was saying how these two cards were pretty forgettable. And when I got to the Kasaki, I was going to mention how I feel like they kind of really missed out where like, with really old sets, they actually had villain decks, right, that were viable where you could play and it'd be fun. The Kasaki is like the villain of the series if you never watched it, and his standby, I think it's another standby card, and then his climax combo was that what you choose one My Hero, which is his climax, and waiting to return it to your hand. Really isn't that great, and there's not really like Kasaki cards built around him. Where I'm kind of gonna show you real quick. I know it's gonna drag on to opening, but I just want to show you like Weiss. I feel like if anyone can tell them is like they really need to build on things like how in Mob Psycho you could build like a cult deck, right? And that's kind of like a full-fledged villain set where it's fun to play. And then I also put together recently a ReZero deck where you build a Beetlejuice deck, and it's like a whole set that's pretty much built around him, and it's actually functional, right? Whereas I feel like if you wanted to build a full set around Kasaki, it's not really possible because he doesn't really have that many cards. The actual villains, which you would think like, oh, if they had like a Team Valhalla, or if you've watched a series and stuff like that, they could build like a villains like a centric part of this set to actually make a villain deck. They would do that, but they don't. Childhood friend Takuya, I believe the Mizumi 5, like his friends, Takamichi and his friends actually have like is part of the choice deck where you can have like 12 choice or something like that. Smiley's part of the standby deck. I really, really like running him. Of course, it could be better, right? Kazutora, I feel like I want to experience like, experiment building a deck around him, just because I do like the character design. I think he does look kind of cool. No one's losing Mikey. Okay, can't promise it. Chifuyu. Yeah, I'm sure if you guys like play Weiss, you probably already seen a lot of these cards. This is part of the Mizumi 5. I think it's also part of the deck as well, too. Strongest Man Mikey. Race to the Shrine Dragon. Revenge Takamichi is a really good card. I feel like people should not sleep on. He removes 1/0 cost lower character from the center stage if they only have one card on their stage. So especially if you're going turn 2, this is a really good card, as well as the fact that you can put the top card of your deck into your clock, and then you get one stock as well too. But remember, you're blind stocking. I've been experimenting around with it, and I feel like it is a really good card to run. This is just like the Emma backup. I don't think I've ever tried running this card. The Becoming a Man That's Fitting Takemichi, right? So I see a lot of people running 4 of these for their standby deck. I feel like the Draken that this pairs with, which I'm going to show you later on, I guess I'll set this aside, is really not that great because from my experience running 4 of these in the deck, he gets 4K power in total if there's only one other character on the field, right? So you're kind of you have to dual lane him in order to get him to 4K power, and it goes to memory, right? But then if you don't get these early on within the first 2 turns to go to memory, then most games I realize playing the 12 standby deck is that I never really meet the requirement, or I get to the Draken to a point where the Draken is really not that great. Where I've seen some people actually dump the Draken from the standby deck, the level 3, which I'm going to show you, and you'll kind of see why. This founding member Mikey, I feel like it's kind of slept on. I feel like it's a very good card where as long as you reveal it in your hand and you have the climax, you at the beginning of your encore step, if this card's in your standard stage, if your hand has 5 or less cards, all your characters are revenge characters, which is gonna be obvious, right? You pay the cost, which is reveal it in your hand, and then put it into your stock, and then put the climax from your climax area into the waiting room, which you're gonna do anyways. And then what you do is that you look at up to 4 cards on the top of your deck and choose up to 4 revenge characters among them, reveal it to your opponent, and then put them all into your hand and put the rest into your waiting room. So I kind of feel like this card is very, 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 very slept on. One thing I kind of want to mention as well too, I feel like with Tokyo Revengers is that the card designs are just not that great. If we end up pulling the triple rare Draken, I'll kind of show you. If I don't, then I'll show you at the end of the video where the card designs for the triple rares and the TRVs are very, very, very lazy, which I think is kind of what contributes to why the set just didn't sell that well as well too. Even if you're like a really, really big fan of the boys. Strongest Man Mikey. I feel like we're already seeing dupes already. Bodyguard Mitsuya is like the part of the dual laner deck where he gets to save one of the dual laners, which is a really, really, really good card. Which I'm kind of surprised why this didn't shoot up in price. Just the Scratch Baji, I think it's one of the SSPs, which I'm not sure I've seen anyone run him, so I'm not sure if it's just part of a deck that people just don't play. Concluding with Fight Dragon. So I tried playing around with him where I used the level 1 Takamichi where it could summon like any card as long as you top deck it. But the chances of you getting him is very, very low. So as much as I try to play around with it, I just really couldn't get it to work. Bathhouse Mikey is a very interesting card, I feel, where when you play this card from the stage from your hand, you reveal the top card of your deck if it's a revenge character, which is all your characters. You choose one character in your opponent's center stage, and that character gets minus 6,000 power. Which pretty much it could remove most cards from the field as long as they're like probably like level 2 or lower. Which I think is very, very, very good. But you have to top deck it a revenge character or a character in general. And if you don't, then he's just a 1K beater. So that might be why people don't run him. Mitsuya is part of the dual laner deck, which is kind of a problem at the moment. The good thing about this card is you could continuously loop him in order to do the 2 damage or more because you're running those double climax triggers. And then you're top decking the 2 cards from the top of your deck, and then you're doing damage based on its soul triggers, right? By the way, if you play dual laners at your locals, especially against new people, you are a terrible person. Do not do that. I think like even if you play dual laners in general against people, it's pretty BM. Just saying. But yeah, it's just nice to see the cards because I got the playset from someone while it was cheap. And it's just nice to see the cards in general because I didn't open the set myself. I was dead set on not doing it. All right, the Mikey, right? So I already have the SSP version of it. I just want to talk about it real quick. So he heals from the top of the clock into the waiting room. The reason why I feel like the 12 standby for Revengers is not good on paper, it sounds wow, this is really badass, right? You pay put one card from your hand into the waiting room, reveal one Mikey from level 3, this exact card from your hand, and then you reveal up to 3 cards from the top of your opponent's deck. And from there, you choose up to 3 characters to put into the clock. It sounds broken, right? Based on his attack power, right? Most likely, you're going to have him at attack power of like 12,000 to 14,000. And at most, you maybe will do like 2 characters at most, right? Sometimes, if you're really lucky, you'll kick all 3. The problem I have with this card is that it's very, very, very restricting, meaning you need to have 3 stock, which is not bad, but you have to put 1 card from your hand into your waiting room. It can't be the Mikey because you have to reveal the card from the Mikey in your hand after you dump the card from your hand. So in total, you need 2 cards in your hand. And then on top of that, you need his specific climax in order to do it. So the deck kind of suffers from there's no way to specifically target getting the Mikey into your hand. So your only game plan in order to play this level 3 Mikey and get his combo off is that you have to hold on to him, hold on to his climax, and then if you don't do that, you have to end up holding the climax trigger. So regardless, you have to hold on to up to 3 cards in your hand, these 2 cards, and they're locked into your hand for pretty much most of the game, starting from maybe level 1 or 2, right? And the problem is, if you don't hold on to these cards, what will happen is you will always end up with a finishing hand of you'll have the Mikey on the field or you'll stand by the Mikey on the field and he's only 10k, he doesn't do anything. And then you'll either not have his climax combo or not have the hand size in order to do it because the 12 standby deck suffers a lot from the hand size. A lot of people just kind of like theory craft it and say, oh, this is really broken. Just hold on to the cards. It's not as easy as you think. So I just want to keep that in mind and kind of rant about it. 7th Elementary Mikey is a very, very, very good card. I see people saying you should run this in your standby deck, but honestly, I can't find the slot to put him in there. Mainly because I feel like any card that requires you to dump card from your hand into your clock, and then I feel like I've ended up in a lot of situations where I'm already kind of very, very behind playing the standby. I feel like by clocking myself even more on top of playing the Hina, which I'm clocking to find the Brainstorm or maybe like the Takamichi, it just really didn't really find a slot in my deck. But he is a very, very, very good card since you get to mill the top 5 cards of your deck and just kind of like speed through your deck. Commander Mikey, I believe he's one of the TRVs, and if you actually look at it, I'll show you later. The TR or the SR or something like that. The Like I mentioned, the SRs in this set, some of them even look better than the SSPs. The SSPs are the TRVs are very, very lazy. They're pretty much like the same portraits. And I believe that's the SR, Founding Member Dragon. If you resonated, put 1 card from your hand, reveal, take good care of her, Mikey in your hand, and then place. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck and then choose 1 revenge character from among them. This is not that great. Not a good card. So that's already one of the SR. So does that, but that doesn't mean it's dead. If you're buying packs singly, like 1 by 1, just realize that even if you get an SR or a triple rare, you could still get another SR or triple rare because there are double foil boxes. kind of a shame that Draken is one of my favorite characters in the series. I think just because he looks cool. It's kind of a shame that he didn't get an SSP or SR, which at the same time is kind of good though, because if he was an SSP or SR, he'll probably be like the most expensive one outside of Mikey in the set. Of the world, Mikey. Again, getting a lot of this Draken. Last Wish is Shifuyu. Trigger Naoto is one of the pieces of the choice deck, I believe. Oh, so this card is very, very, very good. It's the backup card, part of the standby deck. And the reason why I say it's very, very hard to hold on to the level 3 Mikey is that most of the time you're going to try to stand by one of these out. And if you're going to stand by one of these out, it pumps your characters by 2k power. And then if your character in front of it gets frontal attack, you could dump one revenge character from your hand and pay 1 to keep it from getting reversed. And that's what I mean by like, you have to be very, very careful when you play the standby deck, where it's very, very easy to just kind of empty your hand out by using a lot of these effects. So just be aware of that. Aji, the Mizu 5, dual laners again. They're just very, very, very good cards. They're like 7k as long as you're dual laning. The Takamichi standby, I honestly feel like the restrictions on the standby deck are kind of ridiculous if you think about it, because it requires him to face a cost 0 or lower, and then or else it doesn't get the +1 level and 3500 power, and even then he's 8k, right? And then the good thing about him is you could sacrifice him to pump another character by 2-5. But pretty much if you ever played this deck and you play it against another standby deck, you're just gonna flat out lose against most of their standby targets. So just be aware about that. Mitsuya, this is the clone card. And then this is part of the Time Leap deck. I haven't played it myself, so I can't really say much about it. Oh, the Hina card, the one thing I wanted to talk about, I tried running this in my deck. She's kind of like a different dimension capsule if you ever play Yu-Gi-Oh! Where if you tap her, you could put one card from your waiting room under her, which is a revenge character or the Clover necklace. So I figured, oh, maybe I could put a Mikey under her. And then you could tap her again the next turn and pay 1 to return the marker from underneath into your hand. But most of the time I realized when you're playing the standby deck, you just don't have the time slot to do this. By the time you get to playing her into your hand, you might be able to get her off once, but after that, you're kind of flooding the board with targets and standbys. This is the climax swapper, by the way. And so by the time you get to her, then you're only going to get +1 card into your hand, and afterwards, you're probably just going to play over her, which is why I really don't think it's that great of a card. The Takamichi. So a lot of people say this is broken or OP. He's 7k beater. He's 1-1, and then you could get a level 3 in your hand, right? It sounds really good on paper. I've tried this deck multiple times where I stacked my deck with 4 of these, and I made the ratios where I think I had less than like 8 level 0s, and then I had only 4 of these level 1s, and then the standby dragons. So in total of 8 level 1s, like 8 level 0s, and I stacked the deck with the rest of it with all level 3s. Even then, most of the time you're gonna get level 0s, or you're gonna whiff and get a climax or a level like a level 1 or something like that, and then it's just not worth it to run this in your deck. It sounds really good on paper. Again, right? You have to be very, very wary when you ask people about this game. A lot of people are just gonna paper theory craft these things and say, "Oh, this looks really good on paper," but I played the standby deck a lot of times, and it's really not that good of a card, even if you build your deck around it. So let's split halves. Shifuyu and Baji. I really like the characters. If you ever look at their TRV, which I'll kind of show at the end of the video, I have it in my deck. It's a very, very lazy design if you actually look at it. The card looks exactly the same as this. No changes at all. They just put some text over it. And it's very, 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 very lazy. I can see why no one buys this set. And I'm not sure if they just looked at it and went like, oh, it's just boys, and that's why, we're not going to do it. And just put effort into it. It's so stupid. Payon is very, very interesting because you could run like a Pachin deck, and it's kind of like a ghetto standby. Uh, it's interesting. Special person Emma. Honestly, I see a lot of people. This is why you shouldn't net deck, right? I see a lot of people run this in their decks on Encore, and I tried running Emma. Honestly, I have one of her in my deck, but I honestly like the Mitsuya Brainstormer more because you can actually target stuff in your waiting room. So if you want to get that Mikey back into your hand, you could. So just be aware about that before you run like a lot of copies of it. He is another one of the TRVs. Again, is like a very, very shitty card. I don't think I've ever seen any people really run it. He just gets pumped based on the amount of Chifuyus you have in your waiting room. Not that great of a card. The TRV is also very lazy as well too. The standby Draken, honestly, I feel like the reason why I feel like the standby deck is very, very weak. Everyone's like, oh, 12 standby or whatever it is. The thing is that his requirement is that he needs 5 stock or less, and then you get the 4K attack power and encore, right? But if you have more than 5 stock, which you're gonna build stock because you're playing standby, is very counterintuitive. He's just a flat 3/5. So I felt like Revengers would have stood a chance a lot better. Of course, everyone's running dual laners or whatever it is. I feel like it would have stood a better chance if they actually gave him an actual good climax combo, maybe like a level 1 combo, like the the it doesn't even have to be a climax like a standby combo. It could just be like, I don't know, top 2 and then salvage 1. Pachin, again, I think it could be a very interesting deck. You get to like ghetto standby him out, sort of. The 2/1 level down Takamichi Mikey, I tried running him in the standby deck, honestly, and it's pretty good. Um, you tap pay 1 and you get to level down one of your opponent's characters, and it doesn't even have to be in their front row. It could be in their back row as well too. So if you're playing this against something like this is the stock swap, by the way. If you're playing the level down against something like the Lion King, for example, you could just get rid of their back row, so they can't do the another early standby early play. So that's just something to keep in mind. Oh, we got another SR. So there's 2 SRs in this box. Another 7th Elementary Mikey. And then this one is the Naoto. I believe I pulled him earlier, and again, just saying, very, 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 very lazy design. The SR looks exactly like the regular one, except it's just foiled. Nothing to really write home about. Cloning card. Another one of these. 2 of the climaxes. This is the Chifuyu, the fucking Kisaki climax. He's just the standby combo, pretty much. So I guess that's it for the first box. Yeah, a lot of the 7th Elementary Mikey cards. I think I got 2 of them. They're very, very good cards that you'll end up using. It'd be nice to get the Happy Meal cards. I don't know if I'll end up pulling it. If you end up seeing the Happy Meal cards, those things are like $10 on TCG Player. It's freaking insane. Oh, there we go. I don't know why I call it Happy Meal. These are the Kids Meal Mikey cards. This is part of the dual laner combos, and they're like $10 each now. They went from like $2-3, and there's just a rare. It's just a regular rare, and they're like $10 now. It's freaking insane. It's not even like a double rare. And if you think about it, like that's pretty crazy. The fact that people, I don't know if they had like the foresight to buy this stuff out, but I think it's just insane. I actually, and then the SR version I think is going for like $30, something like that. I actually don't like the SR version of it. My favorite card design, honestly, is this actually. This is like the one where if you play it or if when it leaves the field, you could put 1 card from your hand to the waiting room, and then you could choose a character in your waiting room, salvage it, and put it back to your hand. I really like this card design. I actually had the card sleeves. They're very, very hard to find. The Hina, I think, is also one of the more expensive cards as well, too, where if you have 4 more revenge characters, you could early play her at level 2, and then you send 1 card on the field into the waiting room, and then you get to heal it into the stock. So the one thing about this card is I see a lot of people run 3 of her. I feel like uh, I downed her to like 1 or 2 because I felt like the heal is very, very important in the standby deck, but I felt like it ended up being more of a hindrance most of the time to me. I don't know, just personal preference, I guess. The Kazutora and Mikey card is a very, very, very good card. Where you get to you get to if you have two or more revenge characters, you get to just straight up draw a card, and then you just ditch one card from your hand. So if you have like a level one standby target and you don't have any in your grave, you could play this and then just ditch it into your graveyard so you could play it out. And then, or if I guess if you're higher level, you want to put like a level three in there that you need or something, right? And then his other effect is that when he's placed on the stage, no requirement, you just reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a revenge character, you just put it into your hand, and then you just have to ditch one card. But the one thing about that is that you could also reveal like what you call it, a climax as well too. So that kind of gives you like a read on whether or not okay, my next card is gonna be a climax. So I'm kind of in between. I haven't played, haven't an experience yet where should I just you could choose which effect to go first, right? So I haven't built enough experience whether oh should I draw the card first or should I do the filter first, the top check first in case it's a climax. I normally just draw the card first, so in case it's a climax, I could just take it into my hand and the next one will just reveal whatever it is. So I'm not sure what would be the benefit of it if I were to just reveal first and then do the top and then do the draw. Maybe I'll try that out, or if I guess if anyone else knows, you guys can let me know. Or the Frieder Takemichi. I actually don't know what this Hina does. Oh, it's just a resonate and then get 4K. More of the just the scratch Baji. But yeah, like I said, see, I'm not really expecting much. I really do like the fact that there is possible to get double foil boxes. And then Light of the First Division Tribute is also one of the SSPs. I don't really like the art, honestly, because he kind of looks fat in this. Something about his outfit just looks really, very weird. As opposed to like I really like this picture because his sweater looks very, very comfortable. Just saying. More of the special person Hina. Emma. Got more of that. But yeah, like I said, we're walking in. I just wanted to kind of. Oh, I see something shiny. I just kind of wanted to see the cards, to be honest, because I've never opened the boxes myself. I had two trial decks. Oh, okay. So this is the kids meal Mikey. I think it's actually really nice. I'll probably throw this in my deck. I don't. I don't think the SR really looks that great, honestly. We'll put it upside down into the sleeve since we're probably gonna throw this in my deck. I don't think that honestly the SR looks that great because if you actually look at the SR as opposed to the regular rare, I think the regular rare looks for what it is. I think the regular rare looks a lot more funny than the SR, where the SR is just like, uh, not really that great. But maybe we'll just throw it into our deck. So we have that. So I guess that's our first foil. So I'm not sure if there's always double foils. When I opened Camelot, I felt like I was pulling a lot of double foils. Um, I'm not sure if the new format really is like that for every single box. So that's just something that I guess if you guys know, you can. I don't think anyone really runs this backup. I'm not sure. It's a 2-5 backup, and then you could choose another 1K, so in total it's a 3-5 backup. I see people running backups inside the standby deck where I feel like it's kind of unnecessary, or it's nice to have, but I feel like I just couldn't find the room to put him in. Oops. The Draken is 2 or less climaxes, -1 level in your hand, so he's level 1, and then only for 4K. And then when you climax, pump 4K. That is useless. Everyday Lives Draken and Mikey. I feel like this is a very good card. So if you ever play a standby deck, I'm considering taking him out of the deck, but I run the TRV version of it, so I like having it in the deck. But pretty much, it's also heal 1 into the waiting room, and then dump 2 cards from your hand, so no strict requirements, and then pay 3, and then you do 2 damage, and then choose 1 card in your opponent's waiting room, and then put it on the top of the thing. The problem if you run this card is that it's at the beginning of the attack that you have to pay the 3 stock, so you can't include him. So you have if you have only like you have 0 stock, right? And you have 3 characters on your field, you can't swing with 2 characters, swing him as the third one, and then consider yourself having 3 stock because his generation doesn't count because this has to be at the beginning of the attack rather than at the end. So it's a very, very, very awkward card to play where I felt like if you run him and the Mikey, the problem is that you'll have to choose either one or the other. You'll most likely not end up playing both. Where again, I just feel like the standby deck is a very, very awkward deck to play. I'll probably go over it in the future, maybe if anyone's interested on, I guess, my thoughts and experience on playing the standby deck. But I feel like, but it's nice to see that I guess the dual laner deck is actually a good part of the set and that's actually playable. I feel like in the future, we're all aside from the dual laner deck, we're gonna see a lot of people playing the choice deck as well too. Where I feel like the choice deck is also really, really good, which is the time leap Takamichi, where you're just like it's I guess it's kind of like time warping where you're continuously looping him. I believe there's some videos already on YouTube of people doing like a deck profile on it, so you guys might want to check it out. Aside from so I think this is one of the decks that are slept on. Aside from the dual laners, which is very, very expensive right now because people jacking up the Mikey, you might want to consider playing the choice deck. Yeah, just something to keep in mind. Again, this is one of the backups where I feel like I just can't find the use in those backups just because of the fact that you already have this level 3 backup. So anything in your back lane in Revengers, you'll end up playing over this or your Brainstormer, which I feel like is very, I don't know, debatable, I guess. Or Kisaki, I believe this is the other part of the dual laners deck where again it's just 7k and he's the one that lets you I think choose a character and put into your hand so you could fill your hand. I consider dabbling in having him inside the standby deck, but it's just not possible because you're always standbying out targets. So it's just yeah, just not that great. Race to the Shrine Mikey. I don't think I've actually looked at this card. When this card's placed on the stage from your hand, look at the top card of your deck and put it into the bottom or top of your deck. So but he's only 500 attack. When damage dealt by this card is not canceled, it gets 6k power until the end of the turn. Ugh, just not that great. You could just play the 7th elementary one, honestly. Shampoo hat. No. Are you serious? No fucking way. Oh my god. No fucking way. I'm gonna look at that afterwards because if it's what I think it is, so what I got 2 foils in this box. So I have a chance at another foil, right? So this was an SR. I don't even remember Kazutora. I can't even think right now. What does he do? One card from your hand to a wayman when you attack. If you have his climax. Alright. If you attack, you have his climax. You look at the top 4 cards of the deck and then choose up to 2 amulets or revenge characters among them and put it into your hand. I guess it could be good. I'm not sure if there is any Kazutora decks. They have the Hama cards and the Kasaki cards, right? Which is why I feel like it's a miss that they don't have like a villain deck or like a Team Valhalla deck. I just can't think right now because I see it I see the edge of it, and I think this is it. Hey. I was gonna say I've never pulled a SSP before, but I did it in a case. But that's buying a whole case. And then again, right? This is like, oh my god! Holy shit! Holy shit! I can't believe it. I can't fucking believe this. This is unreal. This is, I guess, like this is like the Mikey box. I got what two kids meal Mikeys, which this is like already like what the SR is like $30-$40 or some shit, and then the regular rare is like $10 now. I'm speechless. I hang on. I gotta find like a. Can't think. I had a one touch somewhere. I had one that I already opened last time, and then I had to sleep. All right, I have it here. I have no comment. And one thing I want to point out as well too, if I can't think, if you guys have oh no, my voice is breaking up. If you buy KMC sleeves, just be aware that they're not all cut the same size. I was told by someone that the US version of KMC sleeve, there's a US version apparently that is cut slightly differently from the Japanese made version, where it's slightly like bigger or smaller or something like that. So just be aware of it. So I had a sleeve in this one touch already. This should be one of the fit ones. God, how's the quality? One thing I also want to point out as well too is that with Tokyo Revengers and a lot of the new Weiss cards, they have a lot of surface issues where they have like dotting on the actual surface where you actually have somewhat surface damage where I kind of see it on this card actually. I don't know if I can get into the like if you actually look at it, there again you see like how there's like a dot like right here. So it actually has like somewhat of a surface dot on there. I don't think you can get it off. No. It's like in the actual card itself. So it's not like perfect. But since I don't, yeah. Aside from that, you actually see on here as well. If you actually look at like the part where his like neck is, I can't get it to show, but you'll actually see if I can get it to show. There's a lot of like tiny, 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 tiny dots on these, and I noticed this on most of like the Tokyo Revenger rares, but on my first Mikey, I actually did not have that issue. But I plan to never really sell these. And I see if you look at under his chin, there's like a dot there. Very, very, very. But yet, yeah. Uh, Still though, buy singles. Don't if you're new to the hobby, do not gamble on boxes. Just for the fact that a 1 in 18 chance out of a case for you to get one specific chase card. And then in cases like Revengers, you have also 1 of 7 chance per case. So that's 18 boxes times 7 of getting one very, 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 very specific SSP. So even if I got an SSP, I, I can't talk. I could have bombed and got like a, I don't know, like a fucking Chifuyu or something. By the way, I do recommend if you, I've shown this in a different video, but if you do have like one touches, I do recommend getting perfect fits for them. They look a lot nicer than getting loose ones. And the perfect fits just kind of fits in there, where it's like nice and snug rather than loose. I can't believe this. Funny thing also is when I was doing this, aside from like I'm just shocked that I walked off, I actually forgot to turn off the fire on something I was cooking. So the soup was actually starting to dry out. I guess I just got too engrossed into doing this. Yeah, this just happened. So summary, we got 2 of these, and then we got 2 kids meal Mikeys. I'm not sure if I will throw the SR version of Kids Meal Mikey into my deck, just for the fact that I think the rare version looks a lot funnier. But yeah, we'll see. That's it for my video, I guess. I just want to say thank you guys for watching. This just actually just fucking happened. All right, I'll take it. All right, have a good day. Take care. Funny side note, I had no idea how this video ended up being almost close to an hour or something like that. I think just me opening the stuff alone ended up being 40 minutes just for 2 boxes. I apologize for that, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And another funny note is that I actually thought that my mic was muted the whole time at the end of it, and I kind of freaked out. But it turned out that everything was fine, and for some reason the mic just ended at the end of the recording. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, because I sure as hell did. Have a good day. Take care.